Dare I say that the 50/50 Steady 26 is the perfect diaper bag for travel? In this video, not only will I review this backpack, but I'll also show you how I packed it for my recent vacation. Similar to its younger brother, the Ready 22, which I have hanging back there, it's a diaper bag that grows with your children, and even after your children are grown and no longer need a diaper bag, it still works as an amazing travel backpack. I recently just got back from a 7-day trip traveling with a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old. This backpack was able to carry everything I needed for the plane ride and quite a bit of things I didn't need as well. In other words, it let me overpack a bit. Alright, so I'm going to try my best to show you all the compartments because my desk isn't too big and my camera isn't too far up, so hopefully you get some good angles. Let's start with the front compartments right here. Right here, there's 2 compartments. They're for baby bottles, but since my children are older, we don't need baby bottles. What I do have is my own Lark water bottle here. It's pretty much the perfect size for it. Otherwise, you would put your water or your baby bottle into this compartment here. It is a little bit insulated, so it will protect it a little bit, and then you have a little mesh pocket for whatever knickknacks you need. Pretty big spots. And the opposite side, it's identical, except once again I don't have baby bottles. So what I do have is a scale here for luggage, and the reason I bring this is because airlines charge you an arm and a leg if your luggage is over the 50-pound limit. So this is very handy to have. Alright, so let's move on to this middle section, which is kind of like the quick access section. So you want to put things like your diapers normally and wipes. I still carry wipes, although my children are 2 and 5. You never know whenever they get a little bit messy from eating snacks or just food in general. Having wipes is super handy. Definitely suggested even though my kids are no longer wearing diapers. And then I have, this is my Yodel binder, or our children's Yodel binder, to have some of the Yodel cards that we have for the Yodel Mini we bring along with us. That's not in this backpack, that's in my children's own backpack they carry with them. And then a couple other things I have here is mask. Just ever since COVID, I've always brought one of these as in case. Never used it. And this here is something that usually I pack for myself. It's called the original flight flap, and as you can see, it just has a lot of configurations. You can use it to hold your phone or tablets. I brought this as in case because I wasn't sure how my children were going to react on the plane, and they might need a little bit of a screen time, although we normally don't give it to them. So I brought this in case. We didn't use this. Okay. Alright, so then in here, there are no pockets on these 2 sides, but there is one big one here and then up here as well. So the big one here, I brought this little game here called I Found It. So originally I was going to play with this with my son on the plane, but it's actually a little bit more complicated than expected and need a lot more room than what we had on those little, little tray tables on the plane. So we just ended up looking at pictures for this. And then here I have some crayons that I will show you the activity books I brought for my children for these to be used with. And one thing I really like about a lot of their pockets is that it's a little bit mesh material, it's a little bit stretchy, and you can also just see through it. So you already know what's there without having to just dig in and look for it all the time. Alright, let me clear some of this out the way so I can continue unpacking the rest of the backpack. Alright, so before I open up the main compartments, let's talk about this compartment right here. It's another one of those quick access compartments. Let me see if I can get a better view here. Alright, here. So if you open it up, it's pretty roomy. So what I like, of course, is my phone, although this is probably usually in my pocket, but for whenever I have my bags at the TSA security check, I throw it in here. It just makes it so I have less stuff to worry about leaving behind. One thing I have here is this little night light that we like bringing with us to hotels, because with all the lights off in a hotel room, it gets really dark, and sometimes my children don't like it when it's that dark. So I always bring one of this around with us. And so this is a very deep pocket. Oh, also chapstick, very important, especially whenever you visit places that are different climate than your own. Because here in Houston, it's pretty humid, and we went to Denver, which is pretty dry, so chapstick was a must. And here is another pocket. It's kind of a little bit hidden, so you can store some things like keys or stuff that you don't want as easily stolen because this top part might be easy access for people, but this part is harder to access. It's a decent size, deepness, can't really tell, but it does have a little hook here for your keychains. But I left my AirPods in here, so I didn't put my keys here, as there's also another spot inside the bag that you can also hang your keys. I didn't want to scratch up this. Now, let's look at the main compartments. So this completely opens up, so I don't think you're going to be able to see everything in one go. But this is the main compartment. As you can see, it holds quite a bit of stuff. This is my toiletry bag. It has all my toiletry, you know, my liquids and everything. It has my contact solution, my contacts. So if anything happens to my checked luggage or anything, I always have this with me, and that's very important. And another thing is always have a set of extra clothes that it's not in my check luggage or my roller carry-on, because sometimes you never know if the upper areas are too full, then you cannot, they'll force you to check your bag in, and you never know if they lose it or not. So I always have an extra set of clothes here. This time around I have an extra set for me and my children and this little bag here. And this is also a 50-50 gear packing cube, and it fits perfectly here. You can actually fit 2 of them here, but I needed room for this toiletry bag. Alright, so you might have seen this binder before, because a couple weeks ago I just made this for my son. It is a Lego binder. This was something my son really loved playing with, especially since my daughter still naps. So whenever my daughter was napping at the hotel, we took this to some area in the hotel outside, maybe like in the lobby area, and my son had a blast playing with the Legos in this. And one thing about this binder is, as I mentioned earlier, it is very thick, so it takes up a lot of room. So think about this, 1 inch. Most backpacks, if you had 1 inch plus all this, you probably won't be able to fit too much. So this is pretty good. It's 26 liters. Alright, so this was something that I overpacked, because I usually bring this with me on my travel, because I always hope that I have extra time to make more videos for you guys. However, on this trip I was so busy with my kids that I never even had a chance to use this. This is a little tripod for this camera here, my DJI Osmo Pocket 3 camera. So once again, overpacked, barely used it just to record a few little sessions of stuff, but largely I could have probably left this at home and just used my phone. And then I also have, this is my packable parka, so it's a jacket from Uniqlo. I like carrying like this because although it is summer right now, you never know when the airport or the airplane is cold. And luckily we brought it because in Denver, for some reason, they had a cold front, and it actually dropped into about the upper 50s. And as someone in Houston who's not used to that, and we're like in 90 degrees and super humid, it needed a jacket. And then we have a few more pockets here. This one here is I have for a power bank. You could probably usually use it for more baby bottles or water bottles, but I found that it takes a little bit too long to access this for water bottles. It was easier for something like a power bank. And then here I have my chargers. So this is kind of like just a little 3-way to charge my Apple Watch, and then magnet charge my phone, and then my AirPods on the side. And this is the little charging brick. I like this one because it's 65 watt, so it has the power to even charge something like a laptop. Although I didn't bring my laptop here, sometimes I do use this for my work trips, and instead of bringing my big old laptop brick, I just bring this guy. And once again, you have some pockets here. I have one little pocket here that I brought these little activity packs for my children to play with, although we ended up not needing them. So these are what they call play packs, grab and goes. I got these for $1 each at Targets. They have them randomly. I just like having them in my bags as spares, just in case my kids get bored and just for something for them to do instead of giving them the phone to look at a video or something. Then next up here, I kept my charging cables, all the different type of cables I have. Luckily, most of my stuff are Type-C now, so that's great, except that little night light I showed you was a micro USB, so I still gotta bring this guy around. I really wish, I need to look for one that's Type-C. So this back area right here is actually accessible from the outside. I'll talk about that in a bit. I do want to mention that they have these little hooks here I'm actually not quite sure what these little hooks are for. I assume maybe you can hang some keys or something off of it. I haven't really found a use for them, but they're here. So if you have any idea what they're for, let me know down below in the comments. Okay, let me move this out the way so I can show you what's on the front side over here. Okay, let's knock anything down. So you have two pockets here that are both zippered up. You have a larger one here. I didn't really use it for anything, although I did have a waterproof case in case we were swimming or did any water activities. I wanted to make sure my phone stayed protected and I could still record my kids. All right, so there's one more pocket here that also, what I talked about earlier, has a little hook for your phone or for your keys. So I like keeping my keys in this pocket because I really don't need to have access to it, because my house keys and my car keys are not useful to me whenever I'm traveling abroad. And it's also good that it's inside this area because this is a pretty hard to get to area. So if you have any pickpockets or anything, just if you're worried, this is should be a pretty safe spot that most people won't be able to access without opening all this stuff up. All right, now let me show you what I talked about earlier. So there is an outside pocket here that lets you access everything. Usually it's they have the changing pad. Let me see if I have it somewhere. All right, yes, I do have it right here. So normally it comes with this changing pad that is for here, so it's easy access and you can get in and change your child. However, of course, as you know, my children don't need diapers anymore, so I use it as kind of like a quick access pocket for things that we might need. A lot of people put laptops in here, but I did not bring my laptop on this because it was a family vacation trip and I didn't anticipate myself needing to work or anything. So I brought some, well, check bag stuff. You put the information for all the bags, well, you know, paid check bags. All right, so what I did bring were these activity books for my children. So they both have something to do. They're pretty much just, you know, coloring books or whatever they wanted. My son did have fun coloring, you know, whenever we had some downtime or my daughter was napping and he got bored of the Lego. This was something he did. My daughter didn't have as much time to do any coloring, but I think my son did color in here a little bit. So maybe he did. Maybe it was my daughter. Wasn't sure, but this is always fun to have. And then I also brought a book for myself. I got it from the library. Didn't have too much time to read. Read a little bit on the plane, and now it's or when my son was playing with Legos, I was able to read a bit. And then I also brought my tablets. The reason why I brought a tablet is because you never know, whenever your children are on the plane, they might get a bit antsy, or there might be some huge delays before the plane take off, but your children are getting, you know, they just want to move around and they're bored of all the other activities I brought for them. This is like the last resort. I downloaded a few episodes of some of their favorite shows like Paw Patrol, Peppa Pig, Daniel Tiger, you know, all the typical stuff that children like watching. And glad to say that we never used it. All right, so that's pretty much everything I had in this pocket. Oh, except one thing here. This is for the Jeep Wrangler Deluxe 4-seat stroller wagon. And the reason why the manual is here is because we bought this on Prime Day and shipped it from Amazon directly to my sister-in-law house in Denver so that we could use it whenever we're in Denver. And then now it's back with us in Houston because we brought it back with us on the way back. And that's everything inside here. As you can see, there's a lot of pockets. I really like it so that you can compartmentalize everything. This back side here, just a quick overview of some of the features, is that it does have this strap here for tension. So when you wear it right here across, it's not just all on your shoulders. And as it has really, really thick paddings. So never once that I thought this backpack was too heavy or anything. And then another nice little add-on is that they have these little hooks here that allows you to hook the backpack onto a back of a stroller or stroller wagon. And that's what I did whenever we're out and about. I had this hooked on the stroller wagon. All right, so since this is a travel backpack, I know many of you are probably wondering if this fits inside the front of your leg, or do you have to put this like in the upper compartments of the airplane? Well, I'm glad to let you know that it does fit easily into the area right in front of your legs. I had no trouble doing that. I would be lying if I told you the backpack didn't have any additional features that I wanted. Honestly though, there are only 2 features I'd love to see added in future versions. The first would be a bigger and easier access for water bottles. These front compartments are great for baby bottles, but they don't fit larger water bottles. The second would be additional straps, maybe around this area on the 2 sides, so that I can attach carabiners. I found that carabiners are a great way at holding various things from grocery bags to even water bottles. It's a nice way to free up your hands so you can hold your little one's hands or just to wheel along other luggage. Overall, I'm extremely happy with the Steady 26. Before this, I always had an itch to buy more backpacks, whether it's for travel or the office. Now I no longer feel that itch, as I use the Ready 22 over there for my daily office bag that pretty much holds everything I need for my children daily, and then the Steady 26 here is my travel backpack. Speaking of the Ready 22, check out my review of it to find out why I use it as my daily office bag. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.